Hello to all my fellow network marketing professionals at GoPro. My name is Rachel Pekarek, and I'm really excited to share with you over the next couple of minutes how you can leverage something called content creation, how to become a content creator online so that you can attract endless qualified leads and really find more customers and more distributors for your team by becoming a ninja at social media. Now, it was really neat. I'm going to teach you how to do this without a team of graphic artists, without being super techy or having some sort of fancy sales funnel. This has been huge for me. A little bit about my background. I've been in this industry now for well over a decade. I'm a college dropout. And again, I want to reaffirm you guys, I am not techie. I fell backwards into the kind of internet network marketing space back around 2009. And over the last 10 years, I've built up a following of over 350,000 people on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, primarily doing what I'm about to teach you. So this is going to be awesome. And because of that, it's gained me the influence and reach to more people that I've enrolled successfully, well over 1,000 people from the internet into my teams over the last 10 years. I've been super blessed to now lead an organization that's done well over 150 million in sales and have made well over $6 million US in network marketing in commissions. And just a little bit of side note, that's my amazing hunk of a husband, Tony, newlyweds, and our two gorgeous fur babies, Oakley and Shugs. And so we live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I love this industry. And I love teaching networkers how to use content to go out there and find more leads. Now, today we're going to discuss what is content, my top 3 favorite platforms, what content to talk about, like what to create. I'm going to share with you my favorite apps and like the tools that I use to get in front of more traffic, as well as my DMO, like a daily method of operation for the top platforms. Now, when it comes to social media, if you have been around for more than a hot second, you know that it's about offering value. The key is to build quality content and to do it consistently. But you also want to be a good human, right? You don't want to be a Spamela Anderson. You don't want to be a raving commercial for your products. No, we want to set you apart from the tons of amateurs that are out there that haven't made a strong stance to really up-level themselves as a professional. Now, this is not a game plan to 10,000 followers and getting verified on Instagram in 30 days. That's not it at all. This is your daily strategy so that in 3, 6, 12 months from now, excuse me, you are waking up to new leads on the regular. I want people coming into your inbox, asking what it is that you do and what products that you offer. Now, this strategy is also not to replace talking to people, reaching out to people, being in that production mode of recruiting. And it isn't to replace sending them to like a simple message or sizzle video or following your company system. This is simply a way to step in front of more traffic. And in the world that we live in today, social media is the answer. So stay the course. This is a long-term play and you're going to get better and it's going to become more fluid and almost second nature as you do it. Now, I want you guys to imagine what your prospects see when they go online. This is a pretty good example. Look at like Times Square, New York City, New York at New Year's Eve. It is so chaotic. There's all these notifications, all these bright, shiny objects, advertisements. So how do we stop and get their attention? And that is really the premise of today, is to find the few perfect prospects in this crowd of people that your content, your message, your voice, your opportunity speaks to, and we got to get in front of them. Now, I'm going to share with you guys a couple of things and give you even like a little bit of homework. And I know that if you're newer, this can get frustrating. And I want you to be Sally and not Bob. See, Bob is frustrated. He learned something new, but maybe he's not really technical, and he gives up quickly when he can't figure it out. And after a few weeks, he doesn't see many new likes or followers. He's not getting anybody to comment, to watch like the video or the tool of your company. And so he quits. Sally, on the other hand, is hopeful. She's new to content creation. She doesn't really know what to do, but she's going online. She's researching a lot of the mundane actions. In fact, I just taught myself how to do Instagram Reels by following tutorials on YouTube. I want to be Sally. Don't you, right? Don't be Bob. Be like Sally. So what is content? Content is every post, every status, every meme, every live, every Facebook and Instagram story, the blog articles, videos that you do, it's all content. So start flipping that lens. Like every time you post something or go live, you are creating a content piece. And is that piece speaking to a potential customer or distributor? Now, there's three major types of social media content: text, like status updates and long story posts or captions or blog articles. You have graphics. Those are quote cards or shareables, memes, recognitions, before and after photos, or even videos like Facebook and Instagram lives, YouTube and TikTok or Instagram reels. So text, graphic, and video. Now, my top three favorite places to create content is Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Currently about 325,000 followers on Facebook, over 27,000 on Instagram, and over 1.5 million views on YouTube. And so on Facebook, though, I want you guys to imagine that this is your talk show. When you're creating content, you're really looking to get into a conversation back and forth, like really engaging with your audience, especially when you're on Facebook Live. You want to be talking and getting them, hey, drop this note in the comments, drop a question, I'm going to answer it live, things like that. But the key takeaway is, regardless if you do a status update or a graphic or a video, the money on Facebook is in the messenger. You want to drive every piece of content to the DMs, to the private messenger, so that you can create conversations and get people to your company tools. You want to get them to the presentations. Instagram is, for me, a reality show. So it's the way to show the behind the scenes aspect of my life and to show more the unfiltered aspect. Especially on Instagram stories, I share a lot about my dogs and my husband and our travels and our leisure and cooking. And, they aren't necessarily branding, but people are getting to seeing the real me. Now, one key takeaway with Instagram is that it's highly visual. So you want to make sure that your photos and images look good. And it does require a lot of targeted engagement, meaning hashtags. So you're going to want to look that up. You're going to want to do research. I don't have time here to tell you that, but GoPro has phenomenal training on social media. But you can also Google and say, like, what are hashtags and how to find hashtags and use them. Reels is also a big takeaway right now on Instagram. It's one of the fastest ways to go viral. It's kind of like TikTok for Instagram, by the way. YouTube, I view this as a sitcom. So you're not really engaging. You're uploading a video, you're uploading a raw video, and you're putting a title to it and like a caption and some tags to it. But it's really, YouTube is a search engine. So people are searching something and they come across your video probably as a solution or entertaining or educational or inspirational. What I love about YouTube is that although it's not social media, it is a hub for what I call evergreen content. Think about pine trees. Most of them are evergreen, right? They are green all throughout the year. Where when you do an Instagram or Facebook Live, after a day or so, like, they're gone. But when you do a YouTube video, you probably won't get many views the first day. But over time, Google actually ranks those videos to be more authoritative. And so I have videos I did 10 years ago that still drive me leads today. How cool is that? So those are the three major places. And we got to think about what type of content to create. Obviously, to build a content strategy, you want to post every day and you want to give value. But people still ask me all the time, but Rachel, I don't know what to post. Guys, it's simple. You just want to document your life. When you learn, post. When you grow, post. When you win, post. When you lose, post. You want to be your own brand and take people on the journey. Now, the key to having others becoming interested in you is you have to become interesting, right? You cannot fake this. So you have to become what you wish to attract. And this has to do with personal development, skill development, expertise in a specific knowledge bucket or in a specific category or niche, right? Some of us are really knowledgeable in spirituality or really knowledgeable on politics or really knowledgeable on wellness products or horses or leadership or network marketing or social media or business building, right? When you fill your cup with skills and knowledge and wisdom and experience, and you constantly fill that over and over, the only solution is to run it over, to start teaching people, to start educating them, inspiring them, and even entertaining them along the journey. And the more value you put into yourself, the more value you'll bring to your community. This is why a lot of us follow, or all of us here follow Eric and Marina so highly and so closely is because the value they put in themselves. 7 figures they have invested, probably multiple now, in personal growth and in skill development. So you want to make sure that you are growing every single day and focusing on becoming interesting, right? Now, let's get into the real nuts and bolts of this training. What is your brand? You hear the word brand. Brand is just something that you're known for. Like, what do you stand for? If I were to follow you today, what is the next 3 or 4 posts? What can I expect from you? What's going to be your consistent message that I see on your stories or on your lives? What's your, what are you a thought leader in? That's the goal, guys. We want to create you as a thought leader in some category. Now, your action step right now is to come up with 1 to 3 brand buckets, topics of discussion, and different post ideas, Facebook Live ideas, YouTube ideas, Instagram Live ideas, story ideas that you can offer to your audience. And this is also going to be a key way where you can go find these people if you know what people are interested in. Let's walk through this together. And you might want to pause and spend some time brain dumping on a page. So I wrote down a couple of different buckets, like where somebody's brands might be. They might be health and wellness, or they might be a very specific niche of health and wellness, like paleo or keto or macros or vegan or plant-based, right? Or maybe your goal, you love politics and world events, or maybe one of your content is network marketing or social media marketing, internet marketing, horses, a hobby that you have, religion, faith, etc. Now, these is possible. You guys, you can do anything. Let's just say that your 3 major buckets that you're passionate about, that you love to study, that you love to teach on, that you love to talk about is faith, leadership, and horses. The next step is you want to create a different piece of paper for each 3 bucket. Spend 5-10 minutes on each bucket and just write down different post ideas. And it can be as generic or as specific as you like. We're going to drill down here in this a second. But what we're doing, guys, is we are setting up a content schedule for you, a content smorgasbord, if you will, that you can pick from any day of the week and be like, okay, what am I going to post about today? Well, if you're, one of your buckets is horses, you might say, okay, I have not really talked about a horse's diet in a long time. So you could do a Facebook Live on that. So I want you to take a moment right now, pause this and write down 10, 15, 20 or more ideas. Now, if you're struggling, I'm going to give you a few ideas of where to find content pieces, but one of them is just books that you have laying around or books that you've read, for your favorite authors on leadership. Like think about the John C. Maxwell's of the world. You can open up any John C. Maxwell book, look at the table of contents, and there you have 15 to 20 chapters, and they're all different leadership conversations that you could have. Now, it's not about plagiarizing. You would not want to take his content and rip it off, but it can inspire you. Like, hey, I read this today. I applied it in my life, or it reminds me of a story back when I was being coached in little league or basketball or soccer. And this was the leadership experience that I had. So it's one of those things where, guys, write down a ton of ideas, do some brainstorming. You can Google, and I'm going to share with you a really hot tip here in just a second. One of my top leaders, we went through this training recently with a lot of my top leaders of my team. And this is one of them is Erica. And Erica actually has her 6-figure network marketing business, but she also has a 6-figure lifestyle nutrition business, teaching people how they can basically eat what they want and lose weight. Is that what we all want? And so she has both businesses. So she kind of has to toggle between the both because she has her wellness company, but then she also has her nutrition company, her wellness MLM and her nutritional MLM. Well, she also is passionate about faith and she loves to weave that in because it's truly a big part of who she is. So she did some basic brainstorming, just like I had you do, just like your last assignment, on a piece of paper, and she sent them to me. And I said to Erica, hey, you want to go further? You want to go deeper? I had her take each bucket, for instance, the first one, which is lifestyle nutrition, and she wrote down macros, fats, carbs, protein, alcohol, eating while traveling, micros, eating needs before, all that. And I said, now take each of those and write 3 more ideas for each of these main buckets. So if it's like protein, what are protein sources? How much protein do I need? Protein powders, right? And she could go even further on that. You could take protein sources and you can be like, what's the best non meat or, vegan protein source? What is the fattiest protein source? What are my favorite protein sources on the go? Like, she could literally take each one of these and go further, bring it down, dial it down. She literally did this, guys, and she has hundreds of ideas for her videos and posts over the next year. And it just took like an hour sitting down and brainstorming. Now, if you're still confused or not really kind of like not feeling creative or like, I'm hitting like a writer's block, go to answerthepublic.com. You can type in any niche, any topic, and it's going to show you the top analytics for searches that are happening. So I just chose horses here. So you can see like, okay, why horses need shoes, why horses neigh, why horses bite, why they chew wood, why they have hooves, why they show their teeth, right? Why they paw the ground. And you get all these ideas of what questions people have in the equine community. And imagine you could do this with like essential oils, right? You could look at essential oils and you could find out what are the major questions that people have about this, or maybe keto products, or maybe travel, or maybe network marketing, or whatever, legal services. So guys, write these all down and you'll never wonder what to post again. Now, if you're still overwhelmed, like sometimes 3 buckets is just too much. Like they're like, I'm all over the place. I need to be very focused. Guys, narrow it down to 1 bucket. Be the one expert in blankety blank. What do you want to be known for? What do you love to study? What will drive the greatest amount of qualified prospects into your company system? And if all else fails, guys, become your company ABC product person. Become the person that somebody thinks of when a topic comes up. When weight loss or fitness or, fill in the blank, whatever products, hair care. Be the shampoo person, right? The great hair person. Now, it's important that when you're creating content that you think about the 3 V's, very visual, value, and visual. Vary up your posts. You do not want to be just keto, essential oils, shakes, right? You want to sprinkle in your life, your mindset. And I love doing this, especially on like Instagram. Not only do I vary up hashtags and posts, but I sprinkle in my marriage and our lifestyle and stuff like that, because it just creates more of they're not following an infomercial, they're following a person, and we want to follow humans. We don't want to follow like quote unquote corporate brands. Value is queen. You want to take the time to curate beautiful messages, inspirational, educational, enlightening things, offer value in other people's posts. Don't just comment cool pic or do a sticker, tell a joke, tag them, compliment them. And visual is king. If you want to interrupt the scroll hole, you want to take time to filter and edit your photos to boost the beauty in them. Don't post grainy or out of focus quotes, guys. Recreate them using an app, and you can even brand them with your own logo. And I'm going to show you how to do that here in a second. These are by far my favorite apps right now, and they change every year or so. But Over is my number one. It's a couple bucks a month, and I use it to layer images, to blend, create quote cards, shareables, announcements for my team, Instagram stories. It is by far my favorite. If you want to put text on anything, or if you want to do any sort of imaging, and it's got thousands of free stock photos in it. And I love that because they're royalty-free images that I can use for my marketing. I don't have to worry about like the financial aspect of copyright infringement. Lensa is my best app for taking selfies. I'm going to show you what it does here in a second. Snapseed for editing photos. If you're more advanced in technology, Lightroom, I use every day. I use presets, which you can buy online. They're basically a one tap for filters. If you are not new, or if you're kind of newer to apps and photo editing, this might be a little more complicated, but great news is YouTube videos teach you everything. Use things like word swag to create quote cards or like little, inspirational sayings. Lumiere, Plotiverse, Warble, Motion Leap, they can animate any image. Cut Story InShot, fantastic for creating Instagram and Facebook stories. And then Slideshow, it just creates a video with a bunch of photos and you can add music to it, which is really cool. So let's see some examples of this. If we want to interrupt the scroll hole, and let's say I have a lifestyle post I want to do, I want to share about maybe traveling because of my business or, time freedom or whatever. This was a simple shot we took in Destin, Florida a few years ago. In 30 seconds on Snapseed, I brightened it up. I made the colors more rich, a little bit, more vibrant, which one grabs your attention? The one on the left or the one on the right? Probably the one on the right. This is the Lensa app for selfies I was telling you about. They take beautiful photos of your face and your skin, but it's also cool because in a tap of a button, you can change out the background, and you can get really creative with how that kind of ends up looking. I just think it's just really kind of stands out from a lot of other selfies. Now, if you're seeing blurry images, but you love the quote, don't share it. And I don't love sharing other people's brands. This was a great thing, like, 5 things to quit right now. And I took the same one, I went into Over and I remade the image kind of with like my brand colors. And I even put my website on the bottom. So you can put your logo or your website or your handle, your username so people can come back and find you. I don't want to share other people's content. I want people sharing my content, and you want to put on that filter. This was a photo I took of me on stage on a panel. And I used Over and I added some glitter and some text. And then I uploaded it in an app called Wordle, and I added some flames at the bottom and some glitter and a little swirly heart. And all it did, guys, is it turned this into a little 6-second animated image. And it just stops on the people in the newsfeed. Like, it just stands out more than the photo on the left. So just a really cool idea there. Now, you want to create and build a brand. I stand out by making custom quote cards with the logo. I don't promote somebody else's brand. Like I said, I will promote my company, but that's about it. I focus more on personal branding and my team. And part of it's just driving curiosity. Now, I created this beautiful little content piece, had a lot of great traction, and I put my logo at the bottom, and I just blurred it out, guys. So you guys can go to logos. For logos, go to Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. And I think I paid like $25 for my logo. Now, you want to make sure that it's easy to consume or read your content. So when we think about text content like this, like, consider emojis, consider spacing in a long post, like don't have more than 4 lines in a paragraph. Like, you want to be able to be readable. Also, when you're doing videos, think about the audio, the lighting, and the background. Like, is it distracting or is it easy to watch? Now, one of the things that's helped me interrupt the scroll is to jump on the bandwagon of trending topics. This was my #1 post that I've made. It's reached over 60 million people. I had in 1 week 12,000 new followers on my business page. And this was back in 2005 when there was a lion, Cecil the lion. There was a dentist in Minnesota that went to Africa and killed this kind of very famous lion. And I did a kind of a really controversial post about, the fact that there's 25,000 people a day dying from starvation, right? And oh my gosh, 300,000 shares, 220,000 likes. Like, what are people talking about? That's content to create. It may not necessarily be like branded to your wellness business, right? It's not a promotional business that you're trying to get people to watch your video, but it gets you exposure. And so I do this a lot. This was also a couple of years ago after the 2016 election between Trump and Hillary. The next morning, I made this post that went really viral. 50% of my friends think the world is over. 50% of my friends think all their hopes and dreams come true. But at the end of the day, your household, paycheck, tongue, and actions are still 100% of your control. And so that was a really, really popular one and got shared just all over the place. So make posts that are relevant, especially to your own personal values, right? It's a little challenging today to post sometimes about politics, like you don't want to get banned or blocked or anything. So be aware. But if there's something talking about, like, whether it be something in the news or like there's a lot of things going on, like with Brexit in the EU or different pandemic stuff, I've made posts and they have garnished me thousands of new followers. Now, also build an inspiring and creative setup. So, like, again, we want to think about, is the live video easy to watch? So this is just like a simple setup that I have in almost every house I've lived in. I have like a cute little leopard chair. I have like a little lamp, some artwork, sometimes a little glitter backdrop. And this is just, again, it just kind of stands out from like a blurry or bad lighting or bad audio or just like an unattractive, messy background. It's just easier to consume. Now let's dive into the DMO, because you guys want to know, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put together my brand buckets. I'm going to write down a ton of content. I got my new apps. I'm going to watch tutorials. What should I do? Well, if I was, and this is what I am doing on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, post 1 to 3 times a day. I usually leave at least 2 hours in between each post to let them kind of get as much virality and much engagement as possible. And if it's still going on, like if I'm still getting tons of likes and comments every few minutes, I just let this go. I might wait a day before doing another post. I join groups that specialize in my brand bucket. This is where I found a ton of new customers and distributors was joining into my specific brand buckets and making friends. I would add 10, 15, or 25 new friends a day that are aligned with your brand, your values, aligned with the content you're going to be creating. So if you're in the horse niche, go friend a ton of horse people because you're creating horse content. It's going to be relevant to them. If you're going and friending a ton of horse people, but you're talking about leadership, they probably won't give a rat's. They won't. Now, Instagram, post 1 to 3 times a day. You want to create content using hashtags that speak to what your perfect prospect would be searching for or interested in. I record stories all throughout the day, and I try to do 1 reel per day. This is kind of like a TikTok. And then YouTube, upload 1 to 4 videos a month. And you want to upload videos that are solutionary because people are Googling and they're YouTubing and trying to find solutions to their problems. And so think about like becoming a thought leader and creating a channel that's on a specific topic, like the bucket that you've chosen, like leadership or network marketing or homeschooling or healthy living or weight loss or fitness or whatever it is. Final thoughts, guys. Get very clear with your brand. Who do you want to serve and serve them well? You got to make sure that every day you're adding value to yourself and then pouring into your community every day with tips, tricks, and tactics to help solve the problems of their life. Become somebody that's inspiring and educational that people would want to join. They want like, what do you do? I want to know what it is. And then up your aesthetics game so that you can eliminate that scroll hole and step in front of traffic. I want to tell you guys, Sally and I, along with everybody at Network Marketing Pro, we are so proud of you and we are ready to watch you soar in content creation, commit to the process, go watch additional tutorials and do something every day. I'm so glad that I did. Sitting here over 10 years later, hundreds of thousands of followers, thousands and thousands of lives changed, including my own. It's just been a huge blessing. So thank you guys so much. It's been my honor and good luck, and we'll see you soon.